Always follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in. We're live in Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino. Thanks for watching. As always, YouTube TV, listening on Sirius XM Channel 158 or any of our great affiliates across the country. We head out now to the Progressive Guest Line as Sal Palantonio makes his return Wednesdays with Vito's son on the Progressive Guest Line. Good afternoon, Sal Pal. How are you today?
Oh, it's so great to be back on Follow the Money with Mitch and Pauly. How are you guys doing? I missed you guys.
Back at you. Same here. There was a void on the program last Wednesday when you couldn't make it. Hope all is well. Let's begin with the team and the city that you live in and have been around forever, the Philadelphia Eagles. They're 4-0. They've defeated some pretty damn good teams along the way. But the numbers are telling the story of maybe something different. Are they fugazi, Sal Pal?
They are not. They are definitely for real, 100% for real. Now, just think about this. You just mentioned it. They ran the gauntlet in the first 4 weeks, right? They win their opener, a lot of emotion, Cowboys in town. They just won the Super Bowl. Then they got to go to Kansas City in week 2, okay? Most teams get to play the team that they beat in the Super Bowl at home, but the Eagles have to go to Kansas City. Then they have to beat the Rams, who have revenge in their heart, and they have a 19-point lead, and they come back in that game. Then they go down to Tampa, where they have had problem after problem after problem with the boogeyman, Todd Bowles, who's got Jalen Hurts' number, and they beat the Tampa Bay Bucks on the road in 105-degree heat on the field. You know, I just can't. And here's what's the thing: they're 4-0, and yet, gentlemen, Saquon Barkley is stuck in neutral, and A.J. Brown can't catch anything. Couldn't catch a cold right now. So once they get the passing game going again with A.J. Brown, and they get Saquon Barkley going, 4-0 is going to be in the rearview mirror. We're going to be looking at 8-0, 10-0.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Now that is strong.
You're not going to block these kicks every week either, Sal. Also, are you concerned about the A.J. Brown tweets or much ado about nothing?
Well, you know, I was on Get Up on Tuesday morning with Mike Greenberg, and he said, you know, A.J. Brown was doing cryptic biblical tweets in his spare time. And you know, first of all, there's nothing cryptic about the Bible. The Bible's pretty much right there. You can read it. It's good stuff. Read it once in a while. It's okay. It's okay to tweet the Bible. Okay. What we want from God-fearing Americans is to tweet the Bible once in a while. That'd be a really good thing. But I think, you know, today he said, this is my home, A.J. Brown. He said, I want to do whatever I can. I know A.J. Brown really well. I was the one that interviewed him after the Inner Excellence fiasco last year. I interviewed the author and the connection he's made with the author. This is a delightful, introspective, tough, talented football player. He is not selfish. You can't pigeonhole him. You can't put him into the normal cliche of a wide receiver just dying to get the football and get his numbers up and get his salary up. He's not a selfish person. He's not a selfish teammate. He's not a selfish player. This guy wants what's best for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's not going anywhere. The idea that they would trade him or entertain a trade for him is ridiculous. Now, that's fugazi. But the thing is, guys, if they get this passing game going, which you know it's going to happen, or if Saquon starts breaking some runs, which you know is going to happen, 4-0 is going to look like child's play.
I think they lose to Denver. In any event, I want to ask this because this is also in the news, and I want because I respect your opinion when it comes to the NFL. Fangio's meeting with the media. He's not even asked the question. Unsolicited, he brings it up. It's like, guys, I've been doing this since 1986. Did you notice we gave up a 65 and a 58-yard field goal? I'm not happy about that. He said, quote, the kid from Dallas will hit one from 70. What do you make of what he said that these kicks need an asterisk? It's like Bonds, McGuire, and Sosa, he said, that teams get the kicking balls before the season rather than the day of the game.
right? They get 60 kicking balls now before the season, which means they can get their hands on them and rub them up like they like. And he's suggesting that gives the advantage to the kickers, whereas, the kicking balls were put into place. The whole idea of a kicking ball, that idea was put in place to try to prevent any advantage that a team would have. So now he's looking at it, and a lot of people around the league are looking at it and reacting to what Vic Fangio said and thinking, okay, what do we do about this? So I don't know what the league's going to do about it, if anything, this year. Probably not anything this year, because then you throw everything out of whack, right? You just, we had 70-yarders. Now we're not going to have 70-yarders. But I think this is something the league will definitely look at now that Fangio has brought it up. Not this year, but certainly down the line. But I think you look at it. What have they done with the kicking game? First, they made the dynamic kickoff, and if the kicker doesn't nail it in the landing zone, like happened last week, now you're 1st and 10 at the 40. You go 15 yards, 17 yards, you get 3 points.
This is not 1980s football anymore. That's for sure. Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Yeah.
And you know why that's so important? And we have talked about it. I have talked about it on your program until I'm blue in the face, and I hope people are paying attention. We are in a one-score league, gentlemen. The highest number of games are resulting in 1 score or less, 8 points or less, in NFL history 3 years running. So be very, very careful when you lay big points in football games. And especially now when you consider that these kickers have their hands on the footballs all year long, and they can make these long kicks. And that's why you're seeing a lot of walk-off long field goals in the NFL. And also why you're seeing a lot of blocked field goals and a lot of blocked punts. Because these coaches are really smart. They see how kickers are kicking the ball. What's the trajectory off their foot? Are they low kickers? Because if you're kicking a ball in a field goal a long distance, your trajectory is going to be longer. It's going to be lower to the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So easier to block. So this is a really important development for those people who are putting their money on the game. And I don't know where in the world you thought the Broncos are going to beat the Eagles. Are you saying they're going to cover the spread, or do you think they're going into Philly and beating the Eagles?
Outright, Vito's son, outright.
Wow.
Are you calling for an Eagles cover here, live on the show?
The Eagles will win, and they will cover.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Strong. Sal Palantonio, our guest here. Follow the money, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. You're right. I mean, these big numbers. Look at the Bills and Saints last week. Saints are in that game, then they have the chance with the ball in the fourth quarter to take the lead. They cut it to 21-19. They eventually did cover. It's also, Sal Pal, as you know, a week-to-week league. And, I mean, all you have to do is go back 2 weeks and see that result from the Carolina-Atlanta game, whereas a 6-point dog, Carolina, shut out Atlanta 30-0. And then what happened the following week? They got absolutely boat raced and gave up 42 straight to New England, and Atlanta bounced back and looked great against Washington.
Because it's a game of matchups. That's why I'm on your program. I'm the host of the matchup show for 23 years. I understand how matchups are so important, but I also understand that in this league right now, because of the way the game is being played, it's very difficult to cover a big number. Very, very difficult to do that. You saw it on the game on, I guess it was Monday night, Bills-Dolphins. Bills did not cover the big number against the Dolphins in that game.
True.
In Buffalo.
Yep. Well, what sticks out to you this week then, in terms of like a gotta-have-it game or any number that might be too big and tough for these favorites to cover then?
Well, here's the thing. The Ravens are home. Now, I warned you last year about the Ravens, that the Ravens were going in the wrong direction. And you look at they're at home. They're 1.5 dog to the Texans of all teams. And they're probably not going to have Lamar Jackson at quarterback. So this is a gotta-have-it game for John Harbaugh. He's got to prove that he can beat a Texans team that doesn't have anything special at home with what he has. And he has to hand the ball to Derrick Henry, and he has to get his defense together with all those injuries and figure out how to beat the Texans. To me, the Ravens, if they lose this game, And then they have to play the Rams at home, which is a very tough game. The Ravens could easily fall out of the AFC race. They easily fall out of the AFC race and easily fall out of the division if they don't win this game. This is an absolute gotta-have-it football game for the Baltimore Ravens.
That's the definition of a gotta-have-it game this week for sure. Pauly and I both bet him to miss the playoffs yesterday.
Wow. Okay. I could see that. I could definitely see that. You know, you look at the AFC right now, to me, is the AFC Championship game going to be in Buffalo or is it going to be in Kansas City? And the dark horse to me are the Steelers.
Oh,
the Steelers going up against Brian Flores' defense in London, they looked good. They really did look good offensively. So I think the dark horse team in the championship right now, if they stay healthy at that quarterback position, he's old, they're the dark horse team. The NFC is totally wide open. Totally wide open.
You surprised me there, my friend.
Yeah, and it's really good at the top. So great catching up again this week. Hope all is well, my friend. Thanks for the time. Have a good week, okay?
Watch Seattle. Seattle's good. Very good on defense. They're home, and they'll cover against the Bucs this week. Watch Seattle.
Beautiful.
Good
there
job.
You go. That's what we need. Those kind of nuggets, that kind of analysis, only from Sal Palantonio. Every Wednesday right here with Vito's son on the Progressive Guest Line. We'll update the live betting numbers in this Padres-Cubs game as they are now in the bottom of the sixth. And a couple of bets to look at tonight on the two remaining games in the Major League Baseball playoffs next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, they're playing right now in the top of the seventh, Wrigley Field. Padres clinging to a 3-0 lead. The current number here on the Cubs, if you think they can come back, maybe win the game, they're plus 1240 at DraftKings, plus 3.5 runs right now in the Cubs, minus 198. Like, can they, even if they don't get a run off this stellar Padres bullpen, can the Cubs now limit the Padres offense to nothing else moving forward here as they have two more outs here in the seventh, and then they'll have three more licks at it in the eighth and in the ninth?
Yep. Padres have had ducks on the pond here in just about every inning, but they haven't come up with the big hit other than the Machado home run. So we'll see if they get something going here and if this Padres defense can keep. Is that a base hit?
That's a base hit, yeah.
The Padres can keep it going with this filthy bullpen, which they went to early and took Cease out as well.
Yeah. I doubt that we'll see possible pitchers for Game 3 until after this game is over with.
Oh, it's Darvish for the Padres.
Is that locked in already?
As far as I know, yeah.
Okay.
Why not? Yeah. You can go to King behind him.
Well, I would think that you would have to. Did they save him for home in case there was going to be a Game 3 where he's more reliable?
No, every game's in Wrigley.
Every game's in Wrigley.
No.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
No,
I confused myself there for a second.
No, I saw Darvish. That's been the plan the whole. I don't get it.
And then what do the Cubs do?
Tyone? I don't know.
That's probably going to have to be the guys, Tyone.
Yeah.
Because there's no Horton here.
The Yankees are going with, here we go, Schlittler. And we'll see what the Red Sox would do. So but I know the Yankees have made up their mind, and we know this is suddenly this could be Abbott against Ohtani if the Reds shock the world tonight. That'd be a fun game.
Well, because they were not set up well here. Now, Green did not, he didn't help him out last night, but also because Lodolo pitched 26 pitches on Sunday, and then Abbott just went, neither one of those guys were available today in Game 2.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to push them off and go with Littell today, and that does them no favors whatsoever.
Yeah, the Red Sox were, the Giolito news is a killer. Not only out for the series, but out for the playoffs. The other thing, too, the Mariners play Sunday. MLB doesn't announce the start times until Friday when all this stuff is over. So we're waiting on that. The Seahawks might move their game back anywhere from 90 minutes to 160 minutes back. You could be looking at a 2:30 or a 3:30 kick. And then the same thing could happen the following week when they play on Monday night.
Although Florio tweeted out moments ago, they're going to keep it at 1:05 Pacific time.
They're not going to move it at all?
Those stadiums are right next to each other.
That's no way. After all this talk, and they've already informed the team, and they were already going to move it when this situation happened years ago? Mariners got eliminated, so they put the kibosh on it.
Yeah. So you're talking about
that. Come on, you've been there. How bad is that? You're going to play both games at the same time?
Put it this way. So they have public transportation to get there for what it's worth. But the last time I was there was for a Metallica concert on a Friday night last year. So nothing else is going on. And it was a freaking nightmare getting on the train after the concert was over with. Now you're going to have 100,000 people in that neighborhood congregating in the same area.
Come on.
At the same exact time. Okay, so here's a bet that I do have, and I like in the Yankees-Red Sox game coming up tonight. Rodon, excellent at limiting opposing teams to hits overall this year. Batting average against 188, second best in baseball behind Yamamoto, who goes later on for the Dodgers. He was at 183. How about at home, Yankee Stadium? He allowed a batting average of 154. Pauly, that is it's tied for fifth best mark at home last 50 seasons in all of Major League Baseball. Last 10 starts, 2.52 ERA, 60-plus innings, an OPS allowed of 546. The thing is, he only struck out 47 batters, 7 Ks per 9. And prior to that stretch, his strikeout rate was 10.5 per 9. The reason why is because he has reintroduced the sinker that he had early parts of his career. He throws it now 31% against lefties. And in his last 10 starts, 22 of those 36 batted balls against him by lefties were ground balls. And his ground ball rate increased by 9.4% in Major League Baseball this year, fifth highest rate by any pitcher in the entire sport. And his fly ball or air ball rate was 67% in 2023 and 2024, and he allowed 31 home runs last year, second most in Major League Baseball. That dropped to 22 this year. So I think you factor in, and he does not have good numbers against the Red Sox, but how he's trending and what took place last night, and Boone has to, how does he possibly, if he's in, trouble, let's say in the fifth, gets a guy on, and he's at 65 pitches, well, we got to go to the pen. Can't do that. Not going to be in trouble there. Let him go out. I played over 15.5 outs at plus money tonight. He needs to get me 1 out in the sixth inning. Mm-hmm. Because who do you rely on? Who can Boone go to out of the pen and say, go save the day?
No one. And boy, has Chapman been unbelievable for the Red Sox. Made it interesting, but then got out of the bases loaded jam. But how good he's been.
Yeah.
And that was also, that's a guy saying, I'm going, that's okay. Fried didn't want to come out of the game, but Fried's got to get off the mound. Crochet went to Cora. It's my game, and I'm going deep, and the only guy I'm turning it over to is Chapman. That's on Fried to say that, too, because Boone doesn't have a clue.
Sure.
Horrible job.
Luke, can we fire up that Crochet, the audio action from Cora after the game? And you saw it. He's like, I'm not coming out of this game. And he was at more than 100 pitches, and they're like...
On 117, right?
Yeah. So this is what Cora told the media after the game last night, but how Crochet approached a possible, leaving the mound situation in the game the day before.
It started yesterday. We were joking around that for some reason our front office was in the bullpen checking something over there, and he was in the dugout with me, and I told him we should call the bullpen, and he's like, tomorrow you're going to make 1 call to the bullpen. I say maybe 2. He's like, no, 1. It's going to be straight to Chappie. I'm like, okay, I'll take that, and that's how it worked out.
What is it in his makeup that...
He's just a guy that wants it bad, to be honest with you. He was in a situation last year that he was learning how to become a starter. He got traded to become the ace. He got paid like an ace. And since day one, he's acted like that.
Okay, now that's excellent.
Yes.
Come on, you got to love that. He told him the day before, not 2, 1. It's going straight to Chapman. You're not pulling me out of this game before then.
I got 2 things. Number 1, what are the White Sox doing?
Oh,
how do you trade this guy? Great job by the Red Sox. Number 2, it's just, Fried's just got to be beside himself.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a second. I just retired the first guy. You're not taking me out. If I get in trouble, okay. Nobody on, 1 out. Let me get through the inning because our bullpen sucks. And then 3 hitters. Bye-bye, lead gone. Season could be over.
Yeah, he's just got to stand his ground and be just like a bulldog out there like Crochet is and just say, Shoo, little man, get off my area right now.
What has happened to Luke Weaver? That's the other thing.
No kidding.
He was unhittable last year.
That's right.
He was their guy, and he just didn't have it. That was a killer loss. And then, how aggressive do you want to get with Yamamoto? Plus money, over 7.5 Ks. Littell is 2.5 for his K prop. But the last 5 starts, Yamamoto, a 0.79 ERA. 17 scoreless as well. And the Reds' misery continues. They've lost 7 in a row in the playoffs. Haven't won a series since 95. As you talked about that streak they had with the scoreless streak, as they finally put some runs on the board later in the game against this Dodger bullpen. But it's the same thing with Roberts. I mean, Sasaki, okay. But how many guys can you look down there and say, oh, I have a lot of confidence in this guy?
Yeah, no kidding.
That was a gong show, what happened. 10-2 becomes 10-5, and the bases are loaded with 1 out.
Now look at that number. I know, Paul. Sweaty all of a sudden. Look at that number right there on the screen, and I'll explain it here to the radio audience as well. The first 5 run line, I couldn't even find a book today to offer half a run. Every book that I looked at it has to be 1.5 runs in the first 5 because they're such a big favorite here. But you can get plus money here on the Dodgers to be leading by 2+ runs, end of 5. Is there anything, would you take a chance on that, banking on how awesome Yamamoto here has been? You figure that the Reds aren't going to get much off him as well.
Yeah.
And again, you're getting Littell out there for the Reds for 5 innings, in theory, unless he's pulled early, and that's going to go well for this bet, you would think. He allowed 36 home runs on the year.
Yeah.
And can you believe
Dangerous.
the Dodgers, in 5 innings last night, they went from 7-1 to win the World Series, and they were the favorites, and the game was still going on midway through.
Caesars put it, I think Caesars at plus 370. DK had that too, with what happened. Ohtani's $1.40 at DraftKings, 2 total bases. Does Hernandez do it again? Mookie, it could be a Freeman game too. So many guys can hit in that lineup.
Yeah, I played Dodgers team total, split a unit, first 5 over and also full game over. The first 5 was 2.5 minus 120. The full game I found, some books were as high as like minus 150. Other books had as low as minus 120 over 4.5. So I'm like, I'll scoop that up.
Okay. First Bet and VSiN have teamed up with a special offer. Open a deposit in a new First Bet account. Get up to $250 with a sign-up bonus and promo code VSiN250. Place $100 in wagers within your first 30 days, and you'll unlock a full year of VSiN Pro, $240 value. If you're already a subscriber, we'll extend your subscription another year. This ends Sunday, so don't wait. Promo code VSiN250 when you sign up in the First Bet app or at firstbet.com. Promo code VSiN250.
Mike Palm is going to join the program coming up next. The Maestro making his Wednesday weekly appearance. We always talk about, how good you have to be to cash out like the quarterly or season-long like winnings in these football contests. Well, think about how bad you have to be now in the Booby Prize, which you offer here at Circa. We'll tell you about the incredible job that the winner did losing games next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Love this hour on Wednesday. Sal Pell to kick it off. And now, bottom of the hour here, we move into Wednesdays with the Maestro. Mike Palm is the VP of Circa Las Vegas, the Golden Gate, and also the D. Good to see you again. Mike, how are you today?
Hello, Mitch. Hello, Paul. Wonderful.
I can't wait for You Cannot Be Serious. I know what you're going to empty the chamber with coming up in 15 minutes, but I can't wait to get your angle on this in the WNBA.
Yeah.
And that comical sport that we have to watch.
Well, we've been talking about it for 15 months, Mitch.
Yep.
And now he spills the tea, and now every CNN's covering it. Stephen A's an expert. Mad Dog's got his take. But anyhow.
Okay, so before the break, we always talk about, God, you got to hit 70% to win like Circa Millions, or you have to be 18-2 to win the quarterly. Well, how about this now? How bad do you have to be to win the Booby Prize? The winner was 2-18?
Yeah, strong.
Yeah.
That's pretty strong.
Yeah.
I think there were some VSiN people that were in contention, maybe not intentionally, but 4 people went 17-3.
I was after 2 weeks. I was 2-8.
Yeah, but you had no room for error. You had to have 2 perfect weeks.
Right.
You got to start out with an 0-5. You must. 4 people were 17-3, and they split the top prize, and then a bunch of people shared 5th. But nice chunk of change, $66,250. Not too bad.
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Let me ask you about this now. Tomorrow night, with the news that we have with the 49ers, and for those who are tuning in for the first time right now and may not have heard, the Niners are without Brock Purdy, Ricky Pearsall, and Jawan Jennings now tomorrow night. Do the Rams suddenly become a play-in survivor?
I think they will be a play-in survivor. This is a pretty tough week if you look at it. I think if you have Buffalo left, if you have them left, and a fewer people took them than I thought was going to, if you have Buffalo left, I think that now you use them this week. against New England. I think that's the play.
You don't think Arizona and the Colts will be
A
popular?
lot of people have used Arizona already.
Good
right?
amount, right. I echo your sentiments. I thought there'd be a lot more on Buffalo. Houston almost caught him.
I know, but as it turns out, Houston was the better play, right?
That's right.
This Tennessee is. But now is Tennessee and Cincinnati are like. Would you consider Detroit this week? And Survivor on the road at Cincinnati. I mean, Cincinnati's not even putting up an effort in these games.
Here's the thing, and I get that point. But with what has happened in some of the other holiday games, it can happen to any team. The Sunday night game, I mean, we were holding Baltimore on several tickets after the Joe Burrow injury, thinking, well, we can use that if we have to on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And now with no Lamar, maybe that game becomes unplayable, and you're like, oh, now it's got to be Philadelphia, but whatever.
At least Baltimore used to have a backup quarterback that was similar to Lamar that could step in and run the offense. Now they don't have anybody that has his skill set, and it's just an abomination. The line to move this much in favor of Houston here is incredible.
The look ahead was 9.5.
Right, and it's 1.5 the other way.
Yes.
He's worth 11.
Yeah. Then there's a report that he's out 2 to 3, and there's another not ruling him out yet.
I know, right? Yeah.
There could be shenanigans here as well. Do you also agree that you're surprised by how many teams are being used every week?
Every week.
25 teams selected.
Nonsense. I mean, look at the Grandissimo is a much better barometer, right? Of people that are serious about moving on. I mean, I thought 32 and then 29. I said, well, we're done with this nonsense. We'll be in the teens soon. No, it's not slowing down.
No.
I will say, I think the Colts are going to be super popular this week.
I agree with you.
Good point about Arizona. They've had other spots where they were used already this year.
I think the Colts are maybe looking at them on a play on the spread as well this week, because the Raiders have so much nonsense that they do in their games. I mean, that was a really bad game Sunday afternoon.
It was god-awful.
I was watching. It was a hard game, but I'm watching it because we had all these Bears fans in town, and obviously that might have been the hardest game to watch of any competitive game this past weekend. It was a poorly played game.
I ran it down on Monday, I think a couple of times. The Bears had like 1st and 10 at the Vegas 20 over and over and over. They punted once. And then it was just, here you go, Raiders with the ball back. Oh, Geno INT yet again.
I mean, with the Colts, the way they're playing, offensively, they take advantage of all those mistakes. This thing could get out of hand.
I was really impressed by the Colts last week. They're good.
They're really good.
Yeah. I mean, to go to L.A., I mean, if they'll...
Do you think KOC's a little upset that they didn't make Daniel Jones a better offer?
Well, what are you hearing?
Offer him multiple years?
What are you hearing around the grapevine here?
It's tough now because Wentz is not comfortable in the pocket. You know, he had some throws. You go back. I went back and watched that game again. I mean, he doesn't want to let the ball rip. You got to let the ball rip. Everything, and it's clean pockets too.
Yeah,
he's just not comfortable.
Hangs onto the ball far too long.
Way too long.
You think that can haunt him this Sunday coming up against Cleveland?
First team to 10 wins that game. I agree with the move to Gabriel, but against the Flores defense, I mean, they're going to terrorize this kid.
Yeah, with
all he wants to blitz, and this, I think the Browns defense might be the best defense in the NFL. I think you can make that argument.
It's good.
Yeah. I see the total's 36.5. That may be too high.
What would you make his rushing prop? Because I would love that. They can't go that high.
I doubt it'll be as high as Jackson Dart, but because he was in the mid-30s, but he flew by that right away in that game.
20s?
Yeah.
Kyler Murray's in the 20s.
I think Gabriel will be like 24.5. That's my guess.
Yeah. I'm going to take that over.
It's a very good Vikings defense.
It is a very good defense.
But that was not a good display of football against the Steelers last week, though.
Every time they go to international, it's garbage football. Do you remember a great game they've played in Europe? The games are all bad. It distorts it. All this travel distorts it. Now, the argument is, I think it's a great scheduling spot for the Vikings that they don't have to make the travel. And then how bad is it for the Browns come back and play next week against the Steelers off the bye?
Yeah.
That's the biggest circle spot of the whole year. That's a WNBA type spot.
Well said. I actually was going over like all the weeks of Survivor until right before Thanksgiving today, right? Yeah. Steelers, sneaky good Survivor play next week in that spot.
Well, I think you have the greatest scheduling advantage of all. Plus, you don't know in that division when these quarterbacks are coming back. You do know who you're getting next week with. And maybe they go back to Flacco if Gabriel really struggles. But, sneaky is right.
Was there anything this week, in your opinion, to get down on, either fading Baltimore? Again, now it's kind of unknown with Lamar, but or maybe being pro-Pittsburgh.
I have several plays that I made on Sunday already. I like the Giants.
You do?
I do. Okay.
I do. I'm not buying the Saints off of one performance where they were competitive for 3 quarters. That was more about Buffalo being just awful and McDermott being awful again. I think this Giants showed signs of being a real team against a well-coached Chargers team, right? I would have kicked the field goal if I was Dable anyhow, but they win the game. Mm-hmm. I like the Colts laying 6.5 before that thing goes to 7. And I like the Lions. I think this Cincinnati team, I mean, they had a nice first drive.
That was it.
Right? And then they get the interception with 1:40 to win 30, whatever it was left in the half, and end up giving up a touchdown. You know it was over.
Oh,
you
sure.
knew there was the second half was going to be abysmal.
Mike, okay, so Pauly and I did top 5, bottom 5 teams, our power ratings in the league yesterday.
Okay.
I had the Bengals fourth to the like fourth worst in the league. I wanted to put them second, but I couldn't have them below like the Saints or the Panthers. But I think you have to have this team bottom 5 right now, all things considered.
I think you could make an argument they're the worst team.
Oh, you want to go that low?
Well, what's Browning done for you? I mean, they were non-competitive in Minnesota. They were non-competitive against Denver. Carolina's at home is a different team. Carolina at home is not a bottom 5 team, but on the road, again, abysmal. They get the lead last week right away, and they get 42 points they give up in a row. I think overall, probably the Saints are the worst team in the league.
Okay, and we both had Philadelphia. I reluctantly put Philadelphia top 5. They have good wins, but they're doing nothing on offense.
And they win. I
asked Sal Palantonio, Fugazi earlier. He wanted to laugh at both of us. He said no chance they're the best team in the league. What are your thoughts on them?
Well, they probably should have started out the favorites. I mean, they dominated. They had a great season. Nobody talks about how dominant their regular season was. And then they ran through everybody except the Rams in the playoffs, including the Chiefs. I don't know how you don't start with them still being number 1. It's like a team wins a national championship in college football. Don't they come back number 1 if they have basically their same team? So I think you have to keep them right up there at the top. That's my opinion. I think the Lions are really good, and I don't understand what happened in week 1 in retrospect. We all got fooled by week 1, I think.
I think maybe a little bit, right?
No, I still think Green Bay's nasty. It was just
weird.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look
they should have beat Dallas by 30. They're going to go up 14-0. LaFleur screwed up like 7 different spots in that game, including should have lost it at the end.
They're going to kick the extra point to go up 14-0.
And
they were laying
Dallas
17
had punt so far at that point.
Yeah, and they could not cash first half money line for those who had it. He must have vomited at that game.
Yep. And what he decided to do, get aggressive, and then the fumble. Our exclusive betting splits cut through the noise, pulling real-time data straight from Circa and DK. Track the percentage of bets and handle on every game across every major sport, so you can make sharper, more informed bets. Start your edge today, just $9.99, vsin.com/subscribe. How about Cease only going 4 and 2/3?
No,
4 and a third?
3 and 2/3.
3 and 2/3.
Thank you. 3 and 2/3.
But did he get hurt there by the dugout? I don't know. They've had some really short leashes in these game 2, right? They let the guys in game 1 go a long way. How about the interview with Taylor McGregor at going to the bottom of the 4th, and Hinch says we're gonna let Mize roll. He walks the batter, they pulled him 61 pitches. One of the great sideline interviews of all time.
More with Mike Palm coming up next. You know he's going to have a lot on Fee spilling the tea. You cannot be serious is next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. Good to have you on board here on a Wednesday. It is with the Maestro, the Mike Palm here show. It continues. And now it's time for You Cannot Be Serious.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious.
All right, let's start out last Saturday at Wrigley Field, Cubs versus Cardinals, in a meaningless game. The Cubs are locked into the 4th seed. The Cardinals are eliminated. What a day for Michael Busch. First inning, home run, right off the bat, right? Then he triples, second at bat. Then he homers again his 3rd at bat. Then he doubles, Paul, his 4th at bat. Comes up in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs, and the Cubs leading 7-3 over the Cardinals. What do you think old Ollie Marmol does? Intentionally walks him. So he gets no shot at a single for the cycle. No shot at a single for the cycle. They asked Marmol after the game, why would you walk Busch in that? He says, I'm here to win a game. I'm not here to make. You're here to win a game. You're out of it, and you're down 7-3. Let the kid have a shot. You know, in a poll of Major League Baseball players in June, who was voted the manager that they would least like to play for? Number one on the list with a bullet? Oli Marmol, who inexplicably will return to manage the St. Louis Cardinals in 2026. St. Louis Cardinals!
You cannot be serious!
All right, let's talk about one of our favorite subjects, and that's LaGoof, Matt LaFleur. I mean, the Packers fans like Mitch have to be pulling their hair out as they go through this year after year with this guy. First, it was 13-3 in the regular season every year, and blow the divisional round after you got a bye because your special teams was ranked last every single year. I thought he did a better job coaching last year when he had the injuries to love, and he would win those games. But now this year, Sunday night was an absolute disgrace to me. There's no way the Packers shouldn't have won that game by 2 touchdowns plus. Every move he made was the wrong move, including at the end of the game where they run a play with a live clock. Thank God the ball isn't caught in bounds and that it hit immediately to the ground, or the time runs out and they lose 40-37 in overtime. Afterwards, of course, the first question to the floor was, what were you doing managing the clock at the end of the game? We have the tape here.
Yeah, I don't even know, because it was like watching a slow motion car crash in front of your face, where I'm just looking at the clock. I'm like, oh my God, there's going to be no time left. I mean, it's a very humbling experience to go through that, and it's unacceptable, quite honestly. So, and there's nothing we can do about it now other than we better learn from it, everybody. I'm sure it'll be a teach tape for around the league, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they'll send it to North Carolina for Belichick. What was the line from The Usual Suspects? The greatest trick Kaiser Sose ever did was convincing the world he didn't exist. Yeah. The greatest trick Matt LaFleur ever does is convincing Packer fans that he'll do better next time. Matt LaFleur!
You cannot be serious!
All right, we've been talking about this subject now for the past 14 months. And I'll admit to everybody, I didn't watch any WNBA for the first 27 years of existence. I had no reason to watch it until Caitlin Clark got into the league. But you could sense immediately that this league was in over its head and wasn't ready for the big time. And it starts at the top with the commissioner, Kathy Engelbert. Look at the scheduling that they do. Teams play 11 games in 18 days. They're playing the 4th and 5 nights, and the other team's been off for 7 games. This goes on every year. The scheduling's an absolute joke. The officiating is terrible. You can go to Veterans Auditorium in Des Moines, the state basketball tournament. You get better officials. You know what? I did some research, what they pay WNBA officials. Yeah. You make as much work in the MAC conference. I mean, they pay what you pay a college basketball official. And you don't get to work as many games as a college basketball official. No wonder they don't pay him enough. And the FCC caller even brought that up. How about in the NBA Finals? Game 5, the deciding game of the WNBA Finals, the Lynx versus the Liberty in New York, the biggest game of the whole year to crown a champion, and the commissioner wears a dress of the skyline in New York. This woman is so tone deaf and out of touch. Now, of course, the CBA runs out in October, and they've been negotiating. Nafisi Collier, the Minnesota Lynx, on Tuesday had their media day for the end of the year. They were the number 1 seed. They got upset by Phoenix. Collier sprained her ankle, tore ligaments that came out today. They all got to talk. Cheryl Reeve was thrown out of that game number 3 Friday night in Houston. She was out of line. I mean, she storms the court.
You can't suspend her, though.
Why can't she appeal like every other sport?
Yeah,
and then 10 days later, they have a hearing.
Yeah.
Right? How about her fine, Paul? $15,000. Do you know what the largest fine to anyone WNBA history had been to that point? In the history of the WNBA, $2,500 had been the largest fine.
Oh,
Six times
wow.
The largest fine ever. And she cursed at fans, this and that. All year long, the coaches and players have been complaining about how physical the game is. We talked about it last year, how they beat up Caitlin Clark all the time. They don't even call the fouls. Look at last night, what Jewel Lloyd did to what she did to
Mitchell
Hull last night coming through the screen. Oh. She knocked her down, extended her arms, and they go and they replay it. No, it's flagrant. No, it's not a flagrant. Rebecca Lobo said, I can't believe this is not a flagrant. No, it's not a flagrant. Officiating is terrible, right? So now Collier in her statement goes on, we have the greatest sport, the greatest players, the greatest fans, and the worst commissioner ever. She tore her apart. She revealed their confidential conversations that they've had throughout the negotiating.
What do you think of that?
Well, first of all, I think it was highly orchestrated.
Okay.
You don't think she called up all these? Her agent is also Dawn Staley's agent, is also Caitlin Clark's. This was orchestrated. Yeah. And she specifically tried to unite, I heard the term weaponize, the fan bases of Caitlin Clark,
Yes.
Angel Reese. She called her out by name.
Yep.
And also Paige Beckers.
Yes.
She calls those 3 girls out by name and then says they should all bow down. Kathy Engelbert said they should bow down to what all the people have done before them. Caitlin should just be thankful that she has any money from her endorsement deals if they're not because of the WNBA. She had $8 million coming out of Iowa. Caitlin Clark is a story because she's a girl from West Des Moines, Iowa, who took Iowa, not a basketball power, to the national championship game twice, and along the way beat UConn, beat LSU, beat South Carolina. Their only loss in 4 years at that point, right? That was her whole story. So she went out in this very calculated way, I think, to rally everyone around to oust this woman as commissioner. I think that's the absolute thing that she was trying to do. I think that's what the Lynx wanted her to do. I think that's what Cheryl Reeve wanted her to do. And it's right. She should step down. People say, can you believe Kathy Engelbert's the commissioner of the WNBA? I said, how the hell was she CEO of Deloitte? A top 4 company, the biggest accounting firm in the whole country. She was the CEO of it. I don't know how she recovers from this. But you cannot be serious about this whole thing is her statement in response to what V said. Even when we disagree, I don't like the way she characterized our company. That's what makes it all great. That's the response from the league office. I mean, I get that you say things in bargaining. I've never heard anybody reveal private conversations of David Stern.
How about that?
Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
Or the little Putin, Gary Bettman? I've never heard anything like that. Or Goodell, or Tagliabue, or Roselle. So my whole thing is, from the beginning, whoever is in control of Kathleen Engelbert being commissioner, whether it's the owners of the WNBA, who are some NBA owners, whether it's the owners of the NBA, whether it's Adam Silver, whoever is responsible for keeping Kathy Engelbert in this position, you cannot be serious.
Very good.
You cannot be serious.
And you have to fire her.
She must be gone.
Who would do that? Like is it owners? Is it Adam Silver?
Well, the NBA owners own the majority of this league.
Uh-huh.
So I think it would have to be the board of governors of the
Probably,
NBA.
yeah.
That comment's so bad.
Like the Jeannie Buss, who's still the governor
right.
for the Lakers, right? Yeah.
But that comment about Clark
She should get down on her knees.
Oh, my God.
I love Nafisa Collier for saying that.
It explains,
I love
though,
it.
how she would never say Caitlin Clark's name all last year.
Sure, that's right.
And people said, well, this is very strange. Christine Brennan wrote a whole book about it. She talked for 30 minutes before game 1 of the finals last year. She mentioned 12 different players. They said, well, you don't mention Caitlin. It's not about one player. This league is not about one player.
Yeah. By the way, what do you make of the series price?
I think it's right. I was hoping to get the Aces like minus 170 and come back 150 on Phoenix. I think it's a pretty even series. This Phoenix team is very, very good.
I want to say that you called their shot, what was it, 3 months ago?
June.
When you said it's not a 2-team league.
No.
It's a three-team race, actually, for
Phoenix
the title.
is just as talented.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest problem in a storyline the whole season, right? Officiating.
Every night.
So when she brings that up to her and she says only losers complain
Only
about
the losers cry about the officials.
She tore ligaments. It wasn't called.
Yeah.
With the stuff that's going on every night.
Well, and anybody that supported Cheryl Reeve and said Cheryl Reeve's right got fined.
That's another thing.
Hammond got fined.
Everyone
White
gets
got
fined.
everybody that
There you
said
go.
anything she just said the right thing
There
got
it is.
fined.
She was
for it.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Every time you say something about fine, right? And it's like
Hides behind the fines.
Yeah, that's it. Can't say anything. You save 40% on our football season special with Follow the Money promo code FTM. Every snap brings new opportunities. Get the edge with VSiN Pro. Every best bet, every host, every guest, the betting splits, the pro tools, the betting systems, the props, the prop analyzer. Lock in 40% off today. Promo code FTM. Get it now, vsin.com/subscribe.
Quickly, Maestro, did you make a baseball bet on these 2 games coming up yet?
I didn't because the prices are so outrageous. What are you going to do, like 2.5 runs with the Dodgers? I mean, if the bullpen.
Even money?
I will say this, though. I tell you, Yamamoto's been 6 straight great starts. If his slider's not working, he's very hittable. Just watch. It could be an in-game opportunity on the Reds or the over.
Okay, very good. Excellent appearance as always, my man.
Thank you.
Have a good week. Up next, we'll get into those 2 games. It took 5 innings, again, for the odds to completely change last night. More on the 2 games coming up and that next here on VSiN.